right. Welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 29. And as usual for now, until I switch up the locations down the road when I get a chance, I'm back at Red Morton Park. And it is another gorgeous day. Look, gorgeous day. It is 62 degrees right now. I'm recording this right around 3:15 in the afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time, PDT. Not Daylight Time, sorry, Pacific Standard Time, sorry. We are not in Daylight Savings Time. My apologies on that. But anyway, my keys are jingling in my pocket. Let me situate them so you don't hear that sound as I'm walking here today. Yeah, so before I get to today's topic, let me mention to you all that I have completed my new intro video and my other video regarding how to submit your stories to my video relationship sanctuary, as I've been mentioning the past few days. They have been edited, they have been rendered, and all I have to do now is upload them and create the thumbnails and then get them on my website and Facebook and YouTube and other platforms. I will be uploading my stuff to in the near future. And that should be happening by later tonight after this video is released, or by tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon at the latest. So, my website is pretty much almost revamped, or has been almost completely revamped from the old stuff to my new stuff. Because most of you that have been following me for a while are aware I used to run a coaching business on the former YouTube channel, but I took some time away and now I'm back and bigger and better than ever, right? Yeah. So, yeah, and later tonight, gonna go and hang out with some friends. I've got a pretty packed weekend, so I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna do any videos over the weekend. I may get a chance to do one tomorrow, possibly. But if you don't get a video from me tomorrow, you may not get another video from me until Monday. You have to balance your work, personal life, right? That's part of me, balancing it. So that way I don't get too caught up on the business aspect and then have no life. You've got to be able to go out and experience life if you're going to be talking about your life experiences, right? That would only make sense even for a life coach like myself. But anyway, let's get to the topic of today's Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli Daily Walk Edition, episode number 29. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And that topic is, are men and women getting Are men and women getting married way too young nowadays? One more time, the topic is, are men and women getting married way too young nowadays? So, where do I start off with this one here? I'll tell you what inspired me to do this video. Now, most of you that have been following me for a while, and if you haven't, you're going to know now that, last month, for about a month or so, I put myself back out on Match.com. This was about maybe 3 months or so after my recent breakup. And I did it because, I just kind of wanted to get back in the swing of things and meet some women as activity partners because I enjoy the company of a woman. And I enjoy going on hikes and walks and stuff like that, more so with women than with men. Guys, women are a lot cuter to look at than you guys are. No disrespect. I'm a straight man. To you gay men out there, I totally understand. Your preference is different. No disrespect. I'm just saying, for me, if I'm going to do a 5 or 10 mile hike, I would rather do it with a cute woman, even at a platonic level, because it's something cute to look at. And, women just have a different dynamic than men when you have a conversation with them. And that's just what I personally enjoy. So I put myself back out there on Match.com and met a few women. And at this point right now, I've actually decided to continue hanging out with one decent woman that I've been spending time with. It's still platonic, but we've been doing a bunch of hikes together and walks together, and we get along pretty well. She's a cool person, but still taking it slow, and she understands where I'm at, I understand where she's at, and it just works. So it is what it is. Who knows where it's going to end up down the road? I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. I've done that before in the past. And when you count your chickens before they hatch, we all know what happens. It's like when you're playing poker, they say never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. So, I met a couple decent ladies, and I met the one that I've been kind of hanging out with now at a platonic level, or on a platonic level, 2 weeks into it. So I had 2 more weeks left of my membership, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not looking to meet anybody else. I'm going to use Match.com for research purposes, because most single women out there are on Match.com. Most single, decent women that can afford to pay for a dating site are on Match.com. The ones that can't are on the free ones like Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Tinder. I mean, now all these apps have their paid aspect, but the basic service is still free. And I've just decided in my life that I don't really want to meet any woman that is going to be on a free site, because you're going to get shitty quality women. Okay? So, like I said, I decided to use Match.com for research purposes. I just went out there looking for different types of profiles where women were looking for different types of things. And I came across this 31-year-old, cute chick who lives probably about 20 minutes away from me. And I was looking for younger women that are open to dating older men. So this chick is 31. I saw that she's currently separated on her profile, and I also saw that she's not looking for anything serious. She's just looking to hang out with people and have some fun. Have some fun. Guys, we all know what that fucking means, right? She's looking to have some fun. She's currently separated. So she's probably not getting any at home. She probably hasn't had any in a while. She's missing it. Just keeping it real here, okay? So I sent her a message. And we started talking, through Match.com. And at this point, like I said, I didn't care. This was all for research, educational purposes. I had no intentions of meeting this woman. I just wanted to see where her mindset was at. Being a 31-year-old woman that's currently separated, that is not looking for anything serious, but yet is looking to have some fun. Okay. So we messaged back and forth. She really liked the fact that I'm very articulate and I, am grammatically correct. I can spell, I can write proper grammar, etc. And she really liked that. Damn, that sun's right in my face. Look at that. Wow. Can you folks even see that? The sun's like right in my fucking face. Well, you can't see it from over there. Maybe you can see it from over here. Okay, enough of that. Whew, wow. Definitely a sunglass day. Okay, so I took a chance and I said, you know what? Why don't we exchange numbers and, have a phone conversation, see how that goes. She sent me her number. Okay. And I got busy that day, but later on, um, I ended up, messaging her again on Match.com, kind of checking in. We were supposed to have a conversation, but she said, she got caught up with her kids, and that tonight was not going to be a good night to have a phone conversation. So she flaked out on our conversation. Not a good sign. I understand kids come first. I understand that there are priorities, but if you put yourself out there on a dating site and you're looking to get to know someone for whatever it is, I take people at their word. If we scheduled a 9 o'clock phone conversation like we did that day, I expect there to be a 9 o'clock phone conversation. And if it doesn't happen, it's an immediate red flag, because it's basically somebody, making plans that they break. And if they do it once, it means they can do it again. And maybe they have a repetitive pattern of breaking plans, which is not good. Regardless of what you're, looking for, in this case, this chick was looking for a one-night stand, probably. Well, I'll get that in a second. She was looking to have some fun, and there are guys out there that are also just looking to have some fun. Now, that's not me. I'm not a one-night stand kind of guy. I've never had a one-night stand, but I was playing it off like I wanted to have one because I wanted to see her reaction, right? So, I got back to her and I responded when she told me that, tonight's not going to work out, through the Mesh.com app. And I said, you mind if we just, message back and forth throughout the night in between you taking care of your kids or whatever else you're doing? And she got back to me, an hour or so later, and basically wanted to make it very clear that she's not looking for anything serious. She's just looking to, meet up with a guy for coffee, and if there's chemistry, possibly have a one-night stand with him. She was very, very clear with that. I was like, okay. And she had given me her number earlier, and I said, fuck it, I'm just going to text her. That'll be a lot easier than going through the fucking app. So I started texting her. And I said, hey, is this the right number? And she's like, yep, it's the right number. This is me. Let me go back this way here. And I say, hey, would you mind if I, ask some questions just to get to know you and blah, blah, blah. She said, yeah, no, I love questions. Okay, cool. Things were going cool. We started chatting through text messaging. I found out that she is an expat that is currently separated. And for those of you that don't know what an expat is short for expatriate. What it means is it's a person that is currently living in a country away from their native country. So, for example, if I were to move to Thailand, if I were to move to another place outside of the U.S., okay, to kind of check it out and see if it's some place that, I want to live or see how it is over there or explore, that's an expat. It's different than an immigrant. An immigrant is somebody that leaves their native country to settle down in a new country permanently. An expat is somebody that is undecided, but they want to kind of scope it out and check it out. Or maybe, they were in a different country for other reasons. Now, I tried to learn more about this woman, but she really wasn't opening up to me that much. So I have to kind of fill in the blanks here, okay, from what she put on her profile to what she was saying within these messages, these text messages. So I know she's currently separated. I know she's an expat, so meaning that she lived in another country, for a while. And now she's back in the U.S. Like I said, currently separated. Okay. Now, let me just tell you what ended up happening with her. After I started asking so many questions, it kind of freaked her out, and she said that I'm not the right fit for her. Maybe she was catching on to my game where I was just looking to extract information and, see what she's really all about, trying to figure out her game, right? Because that's what I was trying to do. I knew it was a fucking game, right? So yeah, she stopped talking with me. That was that. And then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, what does this woman really want? What did she really want? Oh, I forgot to say, she did mention one thing, which is the purpose of this video. She said, I think I got married too young. She did divulge that. She said, I think I got married way too young. And in my head, I started laughing. And now, afterwards, when I started dissecting this for information purposes, because I knew at some point I was going to do a video on this to share it with you folks, just to see how not only female nature is, but how guys respond to this too, that say, I think we got married way too young. Here's what I think happened. Okay? I think that her currently separated husband is in the military and maybe was deployed or stationed in a different country for a little while. So she ended up moving over there with him and ended up living a very lonely life in another country where she probably didn't have that many friends. He was probably busy all the time with the military and couldn't be there to, fulfill her emotional and sexual needs, which is important in a marriage. I'm not going to lie. It is very important in a marriage. Okay? Now, she has a couple kids with this guy. Now she's back here in the U.S. I'm assuming this, but I think this is exactly what's going on. And she puts out a Match.com profile. Okay. She puts out a Match.com profile and has about 5 pictures on there. Her first picture is a picture of her in really good shape. And then she has 4 other pictures of her being like 50 pounds heavier. And one more thing. I did ask her about that. I said, hey, you know what? I like how you look in all your pictures, which was a crock of shit. I just wanted to see what she wanted to say. Or I just wanted to see what she was going to say. But I asked her, I said, I noticed that in your first picture, it looks like you've gotten in really good shape. Is that your most current picture? And she got back to me and said, yes, that was taken a couple days ago. I've been working very hard and I appreciate you noticing that. So this woman, I guess came back from this other country that she was living at, I'm assuming with her now separated husband and her kids. And she had gained a lot of weight. So she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to attract any men, being really heavyset and unattractive. So I'm going to work hard and get myself in shape. Okay? So she's been planning this. Okay? And now I'm going to put myself on Match.com and put a profile up saying that I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm looking for men between the ages of 30 and 50. And I'm looking for someone to have fun with. Okay? Rather than, working it out with her husband for the sake of the kids and all that, she's out there pretty much, I hate to say this, I don't want to be rude or mean or anything, she's out there whoring herself because she's not having her sexual needs met in her, current marriage. Maybe something happened to her husband. If he was in the military, maybe something happened to him where he can't be intimate as much. Or maybe her husband or ex-husband to be you know, works a lot to provide for the family. Now, she never mentioned herself working. Okay, we never got to that. I should have probably asked her that. But I assume she's been a stay at home mom because she didn't mention anything about work in her profile or to me. So I assume she's been a stay at home mom. And her husband is the one that busts his ass going to work to provide for the family. Okay? So again, she's not having her sexual needs fulfilled. So she's currently separated with her husband. And when you're currently separated with somebody, there's a 6-month cooling off period here in California. I'm sure it's similar in other states and in other countries. You separate to try to work things out. So during this period, what I think she's doing is she's putting herself out there saying she's not looking for anything serious. And she's just looking to meet up with somebody for coffee. And if there's chemistry, possibly a one-night stand, but nothing more than that. I think that's a crock of shit. I think she's looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side. And she's not coming out to say it because if she comes out and says, I'm looking for a great real connection, guys may get the wrong idea. And she wants to have an easy option out. Even if she does have a one-night stand with the guy and doesn't want anything else, she wants an easy option out should she choose to go that route and maybe decide to work things out with her husband. I think she's looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side in a low-key way, because I don't think she's decided if she wants to divorce her husband yet. So she's potentially looking to monkey branch, but she wants to have the option of going back to him should all else fail, because he's probably providing for her. Now, granted, if she is not working and he's the breadwinner, she's gonna get half his shit. So she'll get some money, but maybe this guy doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of money. Okay? I don't know exactly what the situation is. But what I can say is that something is not sitting right with me on this, because she said, maybe I got married way too young. No. I don't think you got married way too young. You got married when you found someone you fell in love with. Okay? Now, the funny thing is, in today's day and age, things are different than they used to be. Back in the days, like I mentioned before, women were dependent on a man for everything. They had not been liberated yet. They were not in the workforce yet. So they had to stick with a man, or they were going to be on the street poor and hungry. But today, because women are liberated, they have far more options than they did. So women and men used to get married at a young age. In many cases, back in the days, people were getting married before they were 18. This was back in the days. Or people would get married in their early 20s during traditional times. And again, because the man would bust his ass, go to work, he would be the provider, the woman was the nurturer, the housekeeper, or the homemaker, the housewife, the homemaker. She took care of the kids, cleaned the house, cooked dinner while the man busted his ass. That's the way the system has always been, and that's the way the system was made by a higher power, the good Lord. Okay? And men were men and masculine, and women were feminine. And women were women and feminine. But in today's day and age, because women have been empowered, they've learned to behave in more masculine ways and feminine ways. And if they're not happy with something with their man, rather than trying to work it out, they're going to leave him and try to monkey branch to the next person. But they don't want to do that until they have their security blanket. And apparently this guy to this chick is a security blanket. And I think she's just trying to see in a roundabout way if there's a better option out there without leading the guy on by saying, hey, I'm just looking for a one night stand. I bet you if this chick found an attractive, good looking guy that had a lot of money, that was decent and down to earth, a great lover, and everything that she wanted in a man, I bet she would change her mind and say, hey, I'd like to see you again, even after that one night stand. But she's approaching it in a way where she's only open to a one night stand one time because she wants to have that option. She doesn't want to lead any guys on and cause any issues because, again, she's currently separated, and probably her current husband, who may be her ex-husband to be, doesn't know about this. Maybe she's trying to keep this from him, so maybe she can only get away every so often. Maybe they still live together. I tried to extract all that information from her, but when she started catching on to what I was doing, she called it quits. But I think I extracted enough information to kind of piece the puzzle together for all you folks. Okay? The thing that really bugged me about what she said is that maybe I got married too young. No, you got married when you found the right person. It's just in today's day and age of modern day feminism and radical feminism and women being liberated, and women having way more options, and women have everyone supporting them, including the mainstream media, including the government. And that involves the divorce process and child custody process favors the woman. Okay? Corporations favor women. A lot of women out there will say that, oh, it's still not fair, between men and women in the workforce. That's bullshit. You women complain that you don't get paid the same. The only reason why you don't get paid the same in certain situations is because you're not qualified for that job that pays more. But if you were qualified for that job that pays more, you get paid that amount. Women, you're getting paid what you're worth for what you're qualified for. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing illegal about that. But what do women do? They play the system. They say, I didn't get that job because he's a man and I'm a woman. They play that card now. Women have a lot of power nowadays. They have a lot of options. Okay? So this woman knows that she has a lot of options, and rather than working it out with her current husband, okay, she's looking to see if there's something better out there. Again, I tried to extract as much information from her as possible, but it just wasn't happening. I think she knew I was catching on. Okay? When women say, I think I got married way too young, the only reason why they're saying that, in my opinion, is because the world's a different place nowadays and women have more options. Women have a lot more freedom, there's nothing wrong with women having a lot more freedom. Women should have always had the same freedom that men had. The problem is women don't know how to handle that freedom. You give women that freedom and they create fucking chaos. No disrespect, it's just the fucking truth, because women are emotional beings and they're never fucking satisfied. No disrespect. I'm just saying, because of their emotions, they feel they're never satisfied. Because if they were satisfied with one person, they would be loyal to that person through thick and thin, no matter what happened. Okay, even if this guy, wasn't able to be intimate anymore, if she really loved him, she would find other ways to have intimacy and stick with him. But women are not loyal like that anymore. If you don't fucking fulfill their sexual needs, they'll go elsewhere. Even while they're still legally married. Even before they get, legally separated. Let me tell you the kind of guy I am. I'll share a story with you briefly here. Let's see, how far are we gone? 29 minutes. Not too bad. In one of my past relationships, this particular ex-girlfriend was, on birth control, on the Depo-Provera shot. And if you folks know about the Depo-Provera shot, it's a shot that a woman gets in her ass and prevents her from getting pregnant for technically 6 months, but they ask you to go in every 3 months and get a new shot. So that way it's 100% or as close to 100% effective as possible. But there are a lot of side effects when it comes to the Depo-Provera shot. A lot of fucking side effects. And one of my exes, because of the side effects it was giving her, she was bleeding irregularly, which is a normal side effect of the Depo-Provera shot. She switched over to the IUD. I made a suggestion on that because an ex-girlfriend of mine previously, was using the IUD. And IUDs are probably some of the best birth control you can use nowadays. It's better than the pill because you don't have to remember to take it. Forget to take the pill. Oops. Better be ready to be a papa. She forgets to take the pill, right? With an IUD or Depo-Provera or a more permanent birth control where you don't have to remember to take it every day, it's way more effective. I've heard many stories of women forgetting to take their pill. And in many cases, guys think that they do it on purpose. Maybe in some cases they do, but in many cases, women just forget shit sometimes. Because they're so busy multitasking, they're big multitaskers, they forget shit. So, guys, I'll tell you something. My advice to you, if you're with a woman that takes just the birth control pill itself, do not count on that preventing pregnancy because she at some point will forget. And one of your swimmers may hit the right spot and boom. If you're not ready to be a dad, oh boy. But to continue on with the story, this ex of mine switched over to the IUD. But once she switched over, she started bleeding heavily, like almost every day for a 3-month period. She went to her doctors and they said it's normal. It just needs to get out of her system. The former Depo-Provera shot needs to get out of her system. Because of the fact that she was bleeding almost every day. Okay. We were not able to have sex, that often, at least, throughout that 3-month period until the bleeding completely stopped. Now, many guys get pissed off at that if they have to go 3 months without having sex. But you know what? I really cared about this woman. And she felt bad because we both had a high sex drive. We both were really into each other. And before that, we were very sexual on a regular basis. But it didn't bother me. I'll tell you why. Because I really cared about her. And I was just happy to be with her besides the sex. And I also knew the only reason why we weren't having sex is because of what she was going through. And at some point, it would end and we'd get back to it. Okay? She wasn't trying to withhold sex from me. It was just the fact that she was going through something medically. And I supported her, which is what a good man should do. Okay? But in this case, with this woman, I mentioned the story about myself and one of my exes. In this case, this woman, I'm sure there's probably a sexual issue in her relationship. Instead of trying to work through that with her now currently separated husband, she's looking to go out there and fuck other men and bang other men to fulfill her sexual, horny, slutty needs. It's hard to respect someone like that. It's very difficult to respect someone like that. Where's the fucking loyalty nowadays? Okay? So when I hear a woman say, I think I got married way too young, that's a crock of shit. The truth of the matter is that you have no morals, values, and ethics. And you probably don't even believe in God. And like I mentioned before in other videos, haven't mentioned in a while, whether you believe in God or not, I still love you. But I know most people out there believe. And I'll tell you, this woman, in addition, seems to be very selfish with what she wants and needs and is not considerate of what her man needs, her currently separated husband needs. She's not being considerate. Because again, when you make those vows to get married, they are permanent for life. And unless, your husband cheats on you or physically, verbally, or mentally abuses you, there should be no reason why you shouldn't be by his side. But it's way too easy for women to walk nowadays. Now, I've talked a bunch about women. There's another gentleman here that I was supposed to interview today, and he reached out to me, but he reached out to me too late, so I couldn't do the interview today. My good friend Manny, who I met through YouTube, he got married very young, and him and I have talked before, and he shared with me that he feels that he got married way too young. And I'm going to be interviewing him probably sometime over the next week, and we're going to discuss his story. He's going to share more about that, and it'll kind of add on to what I'm saying here within this video. But here's the thing that I'm going to say to you, Manny, and other guys that got married at a very young age. Let's say your late teens or early 20s. Okay, when you're in your late teens or early 20s, in today's modern world, which is different than it used to be traditionally, a lot of guys don't know how to navigate it. A lot of older guys today don't know how to navigate the modern world and get taken advantage of. So even if your intentions, Manny, were pure, which I know they were, and you wanted to make your marriage work, and you were in it for the right reasons, you and any other guy out there that attempted marriage and it failed over the last 20, 30 years as women's lib has become stronger, you've had no information on how to tackle this world. Okay? And that's what's happening, is the fact that men are being blindsided by the way women are nowadays because it's brand new. They're being blindsided by the fact that it's not the way it used to be traditionally. You can't just go to work, bust your ass, bring home a paycheck, and then expect your wife to have a home-cooked meal for you when you get home. It doesn't fucking work that way. Now, if you're with a good woman, and you're both working, and one of you gets home first on any particular night, you can cook dinner for her, or she can cook dinner for you. You can work that out. But it doesn't work in the ways like it used to work in the traditional days, where, you're the man, you go to home. You're the man, you go to work, you bust your ass, and then you come home, and you have your meal ready on the table for you, and your wife right there to support you. Okay, women today, in all honesty, are behaving a lot like men, whether they want to or not, because working, any way you look at working in the workforce, is a masculine trait. It's always been a masculine trait for anyone to work. In the past, it was just men working, so it's always been a masculine trait. And now women are women are now in the workforce, which means that they have collected a lot of masculine traits, and they've started to exude a lot of masculine energy because of this. And it makes them behave differently, which makes you as a man behave differently, because you're wondering, why is she acting that way and not acting like a sweet, loving, nurturing, caring, down-to-earth woman? Why is she acting that way, just like she acted before I married her, or that first 1, 2, or 3, or 4 months that I met her while we were dating? She was sweet and kind and loving. Why is she no longer acting that way? Because the times are different, and women have more options. And now women want a lot more than they ever wanted. Before, all they wanted was a man to provide shelter for them, food for them, clothing for them. And that was it. Now they want everything. They want a great fucking lover. They want the money. They want the house. They want this and that and a bag of chips. And then they also want to, work as well. And they just want you to allow them to do whatever they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with a woman working in the modern world. There's nothing wrong with women being liberated. Where the problem lies is that it affects the sexual polarity between a man and a woman because women are acting more masculine than feminine nowadays, which is forcing men that don't understand this concept to act more feminine than masculine. So in essence, it's kind of like the woman is the man and the man is the woman. The roles have flipped. And let me tell you something. It doesn't matter how good the woman is. If you are a man that falls into her feminist trap of behaving more masculine because she's been liberated and working nowadays, and you don't stick to your guns and be more manly and masculine than her, if you start behaving more feminine than her, it's going to annoy her. It's going to turn her off. It's going to make her feel uncomfortable. She's going to lose respect for you. She's not going to be able to trust your masculine core. She's not going to be able to feel safe around you, that you're going to be able to protect her from any inherent danger. Okay? That's what's happening there. So Manny and other guys out there that say you got married way the fuck too young, okay? You got married when you found the right person. You had a connection. The problem is nobody's teaching you how to navigate this modern world. Nobody's teaching you what women respond to nowadays because of them being liberated and being in the workforce and having more power and more rights. And that's where the problem is at. Okay? I'm hoping at some point down the road in the future, probably not going to be during my time, but maybe the next generation or two, this will all be sorted out. And people can start getting married younger again and having kids with the way the world is nowadays. Maybe men and women will better understand women's live down the road. Okay? But it's still so fresh and so new that women are in the workforce and, doing things that were only known as things that men would once do. That most guys out there don't understand it. And even many women out there don't understand why men are the way they are today. Women are wondering, why are men like this nowadays? Well, we're the same men we've always been. We never changed. Men have never changed throughout the history of time, but women have changed. Women have changed. They want more power. They want. I think deep down inside, a lot of women just want to carry a penis because that's how they behave sometimes. And again, Manny and other guys out there, this is what throws you guys off. When the woman starts acting like a man, it throws you off. It makes you feel like you've done something wrong and you're pissing her off. Where in essence, if you were a real man and you stood up and said, look, I don't know what's wrong with you, baby. Your behavior is just kind of weird. I like it when you're nice, when you're nice, feminine, soft, and sweet. I respect the fact that you're a strong woman in today's world and you're working. But in all honesty, I'm a man, and I'm happy to be a man. And I would really appreciate it if you could be the woman you want to be, because right now, I'm not attracted to the way you're behaving. You got to call your woman out on that shit. I've had to do that. I've had to do that with my last 2 relationships. And let me tell you what's happened when I called them out. It turned them on, and then they started making out with me because I stood up for my fucking self. Okay? So, do I feel that men and women are getting married way too young nowadays? No, because it doesn't matter when you get married. The divorce rate's so high that it doesn't matter when the fuck you get married. Whether you're in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s. Now, granted, as you get older, you have more experience and you stand a better chance. But because of the way things are nowadays with women's lib and modern day feminism, and both men and women just don't understand this, I honestly feel it doesn't matter when you get married. Your marriage is doomed for failure because of the fucking system. And I'll wrap it up by saying this, okay? I have no issues with women being empowered and having equal rights. I say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. This has nothing to do with civil rights. Women should have them. This has nothing to do with women being in the workforce. They should have the option to work if they want to, no problem. This has to do with how it's affected relationships and marriages by throwing off the natural sexual polarity that is required for a man and a woman to feel that chemistry together. Okay? And that's exactly where I'm going to wrap this up here today. Again, I might do a video tomorrow, but probably not. You may not get another video from me until Monday. With that being said, if you'd like to reach out to me and share your story with me that I may select to respond to in a future video, okay? Just go to my website at coacheli.com, click on the contact tab, and then go to the section down below where it says, submit your stories to the Video Relationship Sanctuary, and send me an email. The email link is right there on the website, sanctuary@coacheli.com. That's sanctuary, sanctuary @coacheli.com. Share your story with me. You can request to remain anonymous. I will keep you anonymous if you want to be, okay? And if your story is something that I feel my entire audience would get value listening to and viewing, okay, I'll respond to your situation for free and I'll help you out. And that's where I'm going to end this today, folks. So with that being said, have yourselves a great, great weekend, and I will see you all soon. See you next time. Bye now.